Good afternoon, Rotarians, friends, and guests. I'm Hannibal B. Johnson. It's my privilege as president to welcome you to the Rotary Club of Tulsa. On May 30th, 1916, President Woodrow Wilson issued a presidential proclamation establishing a National Flag Day on June 14th. Many Americans celebrate Flag Day by displaying the red, white, and blue in front of their homes and their businesses. The day commemorates the adoption of the Stars and Stripes as the official flag of the United States. Friday, June 14th, this Friday, we celebrate Flag Day. We also celebrate the birthday of our beloved past president, Jimmy Sade. If you haven't already done so, please take a moment now to silence your cell phones. And a special thanks, as always, to Tom Wolfe for our pre-meeting musical interlude. Tom? Let's begin our program with the invocation and pledge from past President Bob Sade, followed by a special performance from the Rotary Men of Note.
Many years ago, Jimmy Sade was scheduled to conduct the Men of Note in front of the Rotary Club, possibly for the first time. This may have been 50 plus years ago. He was also scheduled to give the prayer that day. The Rotary office found that prayer, decided it might be good to repeat that prayer today. This was given by Jimmy Sade just before he directed the Rotary Men of Note 50 plus years ago. Our gracious Heavenly Father, as the Rotary Men of Note enter the gates of this stage, we ask that the critics look upon them with favor. Please assist them, O Lord, in keeping their tempo and dynamics in proper balance and keep them from being ridiculed by their friends. Above all, Heavenly Father, help them to remain humble if there is applause. I beseech thee to help keep the director's adrenaline down so that the chorus and the director will end at the same time. And dear Lord, if it isn't asking too much, let them have a standing ovation forever and ever. Amen. Now, as President Hannibal mentioned, this Friday is Flag Day. And my father's birthday was on June 14th. Just a quick side note, he was about 9 or 10 years old before he discovered that they were not putting the flags out all over town for his birthday. So let's do a loud and proud rendition of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated.
Thank you, Rotary Men of Note, for that rousing performance. Please welcome Carl Vincent with a new member introduction. Carl.
Thank you, President Hannibal. One of the things I've enjoyed most in being on the new member committee with Paul Ballman is the opportunity to introduce people like our new member today, Sarah Stokely, who was sponsored by the lovely and talented Peter Jansen. Sarah is one of those people that's done many things. She started as a nurse. She went to St. John's Nursing School. She followed that up with a specialty in orthopedic nursing. Not so long ago, she completed a degree in history from the University of Tulsa. For 40 years, she was co-owner of Stokely Outdoor Advertising. Currently, she runs the Stokely Event Center, and she has 3 grandchildren that are more important than the Event Center. And she's happy to be a part of our club. Please join me. Oh, little known fact. Her maiden name is Tin Cup. When I think of Tin Cup, I think of Kevin Costner and the movie of the same name, but that was her actual maiden name. She says she does accept that as a nickname also. Please join me in welcoming Sarah.
Thank you, Carl, and welcome, Sarah. At this time, please help me welcome past President Linda Bradshaw for a special presentation.
Good afternoon, Rotary friends. At this time, I would like to ask Charles N. Chittum to please stand. We know him as Charlie. Charlie, the Rotary Club of Tulsa recognizes your 40 years of membership and services rendered, not only to this club, but to our country through World War II and the Korean conflict. Charlie is of that great generation. He joined this club in 1978 and has served our club as a singing and music chair, international projects chair, Rotary Action Team chair, past secretary treasurer, stunts committee chair, past sergeant at arms, and has been a faithful member of the Rotary Men of Note for years. He is a Paul Harris Fellow, Club Foundation Fellow, and an MNSI Ambassador. So I would like to read to you. In recognition of your years of service to this club and our community, and your dedication to Rotary, the Rotary Club of Tulsa, by motion of its Board of Directors, has elected Charles N. Chittum as a special lifetime member of the Rotary Club of Tulsa. Charlie, how proud your family must be smiling down on you today.
Thank you, Charlie, for your 40 years of service to our club and the Tulsa community, and for your dedication to Rotary. During the 1976-1977 Rotary year, at the suggestion of then club president Jimmy Sade, the club's board of directors agreed that a special award was needed to honor those Rotarians who exhibited unusually high-level, outstanding service to the club. It's become our club's most prestigious award. The board voted to name the honor after the award's founder and past president, James G. Sade, after his death in 2007. Past President Jimmy is credited with many club initiatives, including the founding of Camp Enterprise and the Rotary Men of Note. He was an educator, a high school band director, and the founder of Tulsa's Sade Music Company. He was also a guiding hand to all club presidents who followed him. Past President Jimmy also portrayed composer, conductor John Philip Sousa in concerts throughout the country and led the successful drive to have Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever named the National March of the United States. In 41 years, the James G. Sade Service Above Self and Then Some Award has been presented to 20 outstanding Rotarians. The Rotary Club of Tulsa, with sincere appreciation, presents the 21st Sade Award to Rotarian and past president Charles B. Wilson, Jr. So let me take a moment to read the text on the Sade Award certificate, which beautifully captures the reasons that past President Chuck is such a worthy recipient of this special honor. It says, for continuing to serve his club with leadership, counsel, and enthusiasm long after serving as club president in 1996-1997. For strengthening the club by initiating several membership initiatives that led to more and higher committed members that reflect the vitality and diversity of our community. For his numerous leadership positions on the board and club committees, including the Henry P. Iba Citizen Athlete Award, where he chaired the event and served on the organizing committee for all 25 years. And for his leadership, coordinating Rotary's support for the transformational OU-OSU Bedlam clinics. He is exceptionally qualified to receive the club's highest honor. And we're happy to welcome some of Chuck's family and coworkers and friends today. They're seated in the back. And he didn't even know it. They're all in the back. So congratulations. You want to say a word?
I do. Hi, everybody. Oh, you're sneaky. Well, as President Hannibal said, this is the highest honor that anyone can receive. And I am so humble about this. Thank you so much. And to join this group of others who have received this before I have. And then just look around this room, and one of the greatest honors any of us can have is to have great friends just like you. And I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
What a well-deserved honor. A couple of weeks ago, we heard the presentation of our inbound foreign exchange student from France, Lise Delafuse. And today, we have the good fortune to be able to visit with the outbound student our club is sponsoring this year, Grace Strickland. She's an honors student at Booker T. Washington High School. She's experiencing her junior year abroad, participating in Rotary International's Youth Exchange Scholarship Program. Grace is hosted by the Oyama Rotary Club, located in the prefecture of Togochi on the principal Japanese island of Honshu. For Grace, it's 2:21 a.m. on Thursday morning, 14 hours ahead of Tulsa. Thank you, Grace, for demonstrating the Rotary spirit and your willingness to get up in the middle of the night to participate in this Skype call with us. At this time, I'd like to invite Rotarian Tiffany Egdorf, Grace's counselor from our club, to visit with Grace about her year abroad and some of her experiences while living in Japan.
Thank you. So Grace, thank you for being up in the middle of the night to talk with us. And we had to dial her in early, so she's been watching all of the things that have been going on with us since we started at noon. So Grace, I'll start right away since we have a short time. Tell us a few interesting things about your city, Oyama, and the region where you're living, the Tochigi Prefecture.
Okay, so Oyama is roughly the same size as Tulsa, with a population of about almost 200,000 people. And my prefecture is very famous for very delicious strawberries. We have the most delicious strawberries in Japan. And it's a very hot city.
Very good. What is the nearest large city to Oyama, and how far are you from Tokyo?
Okay, the largest city is Utsunomiya, which is actually Tulsa's sister city, and I'm about 1 hour and 30 minutes away from Tokyo.
Okay. And how long does it take to travel to Tokyo by train?
About an hour and 30 minutes.
Very cool. How many students are in your Japanese high school?
Roughly 650.
Very cool. And is it like American high school in that that's like 9 through 12, or is that an equivalent, or is it different?
In a Japanese high school, there's only 3 years of high school. And in Japanese high schools, you have one homeroom class and you stay with that class throughout the entire day. And you don't switch rooms, the teachers switch rooms, so you're with the same group of people all day long.
Oh, that's neat. About how many people are in that class with you?
My class has 41 students.
Okay. So you've really had the opportunity to get to know those other folks in your class being there throughout the year.
Yes, I have. I've made many good friends.
Outstanding. What is your favorite and your least favorite subject in your Japanese school?
I really love gym because the gym teacher is my homeroom teacher, but I really don't like science because I can't understand it at all.
I'm not sure if I'd understand it even here, much less there. So, how many members are there in the Oyama Rotary Club?
My Rotary Club has about 20 people.
Okay. And how often do you get the opportunity to attend club meetings?
I attend at least once a month, maybe more if we have an event.
Very good. Does the club have any female members?
Yes, we have 3 female members.
Okay. And what type of service projects does the club undertake for the benefit of the community?
We did a riverside cleanup, and we helped set up an event for a local elementary school.
Very good. So I'm going to switch subjects just a little bit so we can get as much information from you as possible. What is your favorite Japanese cuisine?
Okay, there is a dish called nabe, and it's basically a broth with a bunch of vegetables and meat inside, and it's very delicious for a cold, rainy day, which Japan is very rainy right now, so it's really good to eat.
Very good. And is that something that's pretty common that you get to eat at home with your host families, or is it something that's more predominant from eating out?
It is a very common home-cooked meal. My host mom is a nutritionist, so all of her food is extremely delicious.
Very good. I'm a little jealous. So on the flip side, which American cuisine do you miss the most, and what will be your first meal when you return home?
I really miss tacos and Mexican food. And the first thing that I want to eat when I get back is my dad's ribeye steak. He makes a delicious steak.
Oh, good. I know where I'll be having dinner then when you get back. Good. So, do you believe that you have now become bicultural?
I definitely think that because when I think of Japanese culture, I just kind of think of my own culture. And I see myself quite frequently forgetting I'm a foreigner. I've had multiple occasions where I point out a foreigner and my friend's like, wait, you're a foreigner too.
I love that. That's great. How do you feel about your progress in learning the very difficult Japanese language?
I struggled a lot at the beginning because it's a very hard language to learn. And I kind of stopped studying as hard as I did and just started practicing speaking. And suddenly I could just speak a conversation without asking what the meaning was or saying speak slow. So it's a very tough language, and I think I can speak it quite well now.
Very good. Are you going to continue your studies of Japanese when you return home?
Oh, definitely.
Very good. Has the Rotary Exchange Program helped you with any of the following? And can you give us some examples? So, problem solving. Deep questions now.
Problem solving. I once was late for a train, so I hopped on the first train that I saw, and it came to my train station and I went to the wrong city. And so I had to ask for help in Japanese. And I was able to figure it all out and get to the right station.
That is amazing. I think I would have been terrified. So kudos to you. What about building self-confidence? Though I have to say to the folks here, in getting to know you before you left, you have amazing self-confidence and bravery, I think, just to undertake this exchange. But how do you feel this has helped with building self-confidence?
I think that, well, when I was at school, I was quite shy to talk to people. And talking to people, I gradually opened up more and more. And now my friends kind of know me as a goofy person. So I'm able to act myself. And that has kind of built my confidence up a little bit.
Very good. So I'll wrap up with this because I know we're getting close to time. After this Rotary Exchange experience, do you foresee any changes regarding your goals and objectives in life with respect to higher education studies or career path after high school and college graduation?
Well, I'm very interested in becoming an English teacher somewhere in Asia, and I've had the great chance to talk to a English teacher at my school, part of the JET program, and so it's made my objective quite clear that this is definitely what I want to do, and this is the part of the world I want to be in.
That is outstanding. Grace, again, thank you so much for getting up in the middle of the night for an hour to get ready for this and to hang out with us. And we look forward to you coming home and sharing your story with us more in depth and in person when that time comes. So thank you.
Oh, and thank you for letting me have this talk.
Special thanks to Miguel and our former club member Eric Ortega for organizing the tech support necessary to enjoy this Skype conversation with Grace. Grace, we look forward to your safe return to Tulsa at the beginning of July. Please come visit our club meetings and share more about your exciting experiences living in Japan. Our Rotarian of the day is Vic Bailey. Vic is a native Tulsan, having graduated from Central High School and the University of Tulsa. He spent his career in radio and television advertising sales and is currently working for Royal Ales at RSU TV. Vic has been a Rotarian since 2000. He currently serves on the Song and Pledge Committee and the Salvation Army Bell Ringers Committee. Please help me welcome Rotarian Vic Bailey.
Well, before I introduce our speaker, I'd just like to point out that as an alum of Central High School, both Chuck Wilson and Sarah Tencup Stokely are both alums of Tulsa Central High School. Go Braves! Royal Ales is the general manager of RSU TV, the station that serves Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma. His experience expands across 3 sectors of broadcast platforms: commercial, public, and Christian. In 1986, Royal was a photojournalist for KJRH Channel 2. From tornadoes to the Oklahoma City bombing, Royal covered some of the biggest stories in the state and in the nation. In 1988, he became the station manager of OETA Tulsa. In 2005, he helped position OETA Tulsa as the #1 most watched PBS affiliate in the country, an accomplishment never attained before or since. 2006, he took over the reins of KWHB TV 47, and in 2003, Rogers State University invited him to take over RSU Public TV. Royal and his wife Karen have 3 daughters. Karina, daughter number 2, just returned from the NAIA National Golf Championships in Oklahoma City, where she finished ranked 34th in the nation, an accomplishment Dad is very proud of. I'd just like to point out personally that besides all the other things Royal is, he is an educator. What really I take pride in about RSU TV and its radio station, it is that it offers a venue for future professionals in the career that we have chosen. It offers them hands-on training, so they are so prepared to enter the market with a 4-year degree. So without further ado, let me introduce my boss, my friend, and educator, Royal Ailes.
Very much. It is now time for our closing remarks. Each candidate gets 30 seconds. We begin with Mr. Bynum. Mr. Bynum.
I like to kid Mayor Bynum that we got him elected because of that. In television, you have to be famous for something, and for me, that's my moment in the light. It's a shame, but I'll take it. That video, believe it or not, that video has been seen worldwide 42 million times. On my station alone, it's been viewed on our YouTube channel 200,000 times. What's wrong with you people? If you're going to be famous for something, it might as well be something stupid like that. But thank you to the Rotary for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit of the vision of RSU Public Television, your public TV station here in Tulsa and Northeast Oklahoma. So what is RSU Public Television? Who are we? Where did we start? Where did we come from? Well, I like to tout the fact that it is a homegrown station. It started in 1986 when the president of Claremore Junior College decided he wanted to be able to provide classroom instruction at the home by telecoursing math and science. And that was a great idea until the mid-90s when the internet came along and took everything online. So they had to come up with a plan then. What do we do with this broadcast license? They decided to make it a full-fledged public television station. We're not a college station. We're not TCC on cable. We're a full-fledged public television station. We're not part of OETA. I get that a lot. We're not part of OETA. They are my biggest competitor. My old station is my competitor, and we like to compete against each other. We program against each other all the time. But we're not a PBS affiliate. OETA is statewide, they're PBS affiliate. We are only in the Tulsa market, from southern borders of Kansas down past Haskell County over to the Arkansas line past Pawhuska. Wherever Tulsa TV is seen, we're seen. But we're not a PBS affiliate, which I absolutely love that idea. It means I have to work a little harder to get you to watch us. There's only 12 independent public TV stations in the nation. We're the second largest independent public TV station. But I'll say this, we will outproduce most public TV stations in the country who are PBS affiliates. I've got a great crew on staff. I have 4 full-time producers. All they do is build content. And then we take that content, we've become a station that distributes our content to the system, to the public television system nationwide. I'll get more into it here in a second, but you're going to find out that we have quite the following and quite the name in the public television sector. So, how do we get you to watch? We focus on three main areas: programming, outreach, and education. In 1968, the law came down from Congress that public television is supposed to be educational. That's the main focus of all public television stations. Has to be educational. But how do we get you to watch? So we can give you that educational content. That's where the programming comes in. That's my carrot. Since I don't have the PBS content to give you, I have to come up with another way to get you all to watch. Now, I took the station over 6 years ago, and I would walk around, all around Tulsa and say, "Hi, I'm Royal with RSU TV," and they'd say, "You're with who?" Today, I walk around all around Tulsa. "I'm Royal with RSU TV." "Oh, yeah, we watch you. You're that station on the hill in Claremore, and we have our favorite program. We have our favorite program. We have our favorite program." So we dangle this little carrot out there called BBC, British Programming. I learned at OETA in the late 90s, early 2000s, Okies love their BBC. They love their British programs. I don't understand you people. I don't get any of it. I don't like the comedy. I'm a Jerry Lewis kind of guy. I don't get that comedy. You all love the murder mystery shows. Glad you do. Welcome home. Thanks for watching. Because we buy a lot of that stuff, and I have to pay for it. That comes about because of you. When you give to the station, do our pledge drive, that money then goes to the programming that we purchase to get you to watch. Some of those programs that are on right now, Midsummer Murders is our #2 most watched program on the schedule. We just put on Pride and Prejudice, which was a big hit back in the early 90s, remastered for public television. My board said, we want that on the air. The book is great. The shows need to be back on the air, so we purchased it. A Sci-Fi Atlantis is another show that we purchased. Our #1 show is Songs of the Mountains, which is a bluegrass program. You guys love bluegrass. You love your music. That's my #1 show. Senator Inhofe calls me often to tell me he watches that when he's up at Grand Lake. And he's come to my office a couple of times thinking we produced it. We don't produce, we buy that. We bring it in. Many of you used to grow up on OETA watching Monty Python and Doctor Who. Well, we went back and collected all the Doctor Whos of that era, the 70s and the 80s, and now we're hosting Doctor Who every Friday night at 7 o'clock. And that has become another great population of viewership for us at that time frame. OCO, Voices of the Cherokee People. How many, show of hands, have seen or heard of that program? That program started because of RSU TV. We had a conversation with Cherokee Nation businesses and said, you guys need to come up with a concept, a program for Cherokee Nation. That's how that came about. They took it and ran with it and created that kind of content, which is fantastic. This summer, we'll be in negotiations with them. We're going to distribute that nationwide to all the public TV stations in the country. Your little old station on the hill is that little old station, that train going up the hill. It's not I think we can, it's I know we can. We are so engaged in our community, most people don't really understand the concept of how we're engaged. Here's how we get engaged. There was a documentary we just premiered last night called The Wall on the Hill. It's the brand new Vietnam Memorial Wall that they reconstructed. It's almost the same size as the one in D.C. now. OMA, Oklahoma Military Academy, and many of you know what Oklahoma Military Academy is because you had family members who went there before it became Claremore Junior College or RSU, Rogers State University. My good friend Jim Morse over there is a cadet alumni of OMA. They brought the wall to the hill, and we decided to do a documentary on it and follow some of the families that lost their loved ones. OMA lost 21 cadets in that conflict. So we wanted to follow and do the documentary, and it premiered last night. It'll air all month long, and you'll be able to watch it online. Let's take a look at the preview.
The wall's purpose is to let us be mindful of people that made the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah, they're the real heroes.
People need to realize that there's over 58,000 names on this wall, and each one of those names represents a person and a person's life that was cut short.
That's a lot of lives that the cycle didn't go on. For the grace of God, I wasn't one of them.
Every name is a story. That's a person. That's a veteran.
guys that died over there, you know, they need the recognition that they didn't give their life for no cause whatsoever.
And when you think about all of the sacrifices, it touches you to the depths of your soul.
Now, we also like to work with independent producers in the market. Independent producers come to me all the time because they produce a lot of great content, and we want to be their outlet. Our good friend Hannibal Johnson came to me and said he had a project that we needed to work on with him, and that was the Black Wall Street Remembered project, talking about the 1921 massacre. What was unique about that is I put my students to work on that project, and none of them had heard of the massacre. And they're all from Northeast Oklahoma. So there was a moment of educational opportunity that we took to teach these kids what this was all about. Let's roll that preview.
Truth be told, long-standing, underlying socioeconomic factors led to the brutal attack on Tulsa's African-American community. Fueled by angst over African-American prosperity, land lust, and a racially hostile climate in general, segments of Tulsa's white community lashed out.
Now, our students produced that documentary. It aired on our station multiple times and will continue to be aired, but because of our relationship with Cox Communications, we aired it statewide. So everyone across the state of Oklahoma City and Tulsa primarily got to see that documentary, and we've heard from a lot of folks who enjoyed watching that story. So good job, Hannibal. But we also do other things. We do interstitials. An interstitial is a video that runs 1 minute to 3 minutes in length. It is a compressed version of a story, or of a highlight, or of a profile of somebody or someone that we wanted to work with. We came up with this concept of this interstitial called Oklahoma's Heroes. We want to profile those men and women who went to theater, doesn't matter which conflict, war or conflict, who served in theater but came home and gave back to their community some way, whether it was a nonprofit or just gave of themselves into their community. So this interstitial, which is an Emmy-nominated interstitial, take a look at it, please.
For me, it was my father who inspired me to join the military, to serve my country. When I was in Iraq, it was an interesting place. There were language barriers, safety barriers. It was a very tough mission. It was August 17th of 2004 when I would hit that improvised explosive device roadside bomb at about 12:04 in the afternoon. And then October 1st, 2004, after battling about 40 days in ICU, my left leg was taken from me. When you're in a place like that, and you're looking at your life, you have to have a focal point. And that was my mom, who was there for me during the toughest days. She would say, you can sit there and grieve, or you can get up and succeed. And I know you're going to get up and succeed. Those words of power would be the building block for me getting up and succeeding in life. At the Folds of Honor Foundation, we give scholarships to the spouses and children of the fallen and wounded. Each and every day I look and see that and hear these stories. It inspires me. Family comes up to me and says, my children are going to school because of what you do every day. And that is the American spirit that we talk about it, and that is what makes us the greatest nation in the world. My name is Major Ed Polito, and I am proud to have served my great nation, the United States of America. Hoorah!
But we're also about outreach and tourism. Tourism, as you know, in Oklahoma is over a $7 billion industry, and in Northeast Oklahoma, it's over $3 billion. So when I took over the station, some folks came to me and said, we need to be promoting tourism through RSU TV, and let's look at Grand Lake. While I grew up on Grand Lake, I get it. There's a lot of money up there from Memorial Day to Labor Day, Thursday through Sunday. So we decided, let's take a look at that, and let's create a series that we can promote the people and the lifestyle on and around Grand Lake. And we've done it now for 6 seasons. It's my #1 show in the summer. And we just had a premiere party up at Grand Lake where over 200 people from the local community of Grove came out to wish us well and to watch the first show for this year's season's kickoff. Take a look at this promo.
And this is Living Grand.
So this is Living Grand.
This is Living Grand.
This is Living Grand.
This is Living Grand on Grand Lake.
Now, we can't do that without our underwriters. Mid-America Industrial Park is our primary underwriter, GRDA, Grove Casino of the Cherokee Nation, and REC Electric up there. Without them, we couldn't put this show on. And it's no different than anything else. Without you, we can't do any of this kind of content. It takes money to do it. You guys help us out. Thank you very much, because it takes a lot of money to produce these kind of programs or to buy these programs to put them on the air. But we still like to work with independent producers. And my good friend Michelle Place over at the Tulsa Historical Society has, whether she wants to admit it or not, she has become an independent television producer. And that lady has produced some great content. A couple years ago, she produced, you saw it, Boomtown. It won an Emmy because it aired on our station. That's the kind of relationship we like to work with independent producers, because we want to be their platform, their outlet for their content. Now she's created Lavore Devore. It's the journey, it's the story of the journey of the Jewish population coming from Pennsylvania into Oklahoma, particularly into the Tulsa area. Some of you have already seen it. We've aired it, I don't know how many times, multiple times, last month, and it airs on our website today. We're now distributing that throughout the nation through the public television system. We're actively calling all the public TV stations to air it, particularly for the high holidays for the Jewish population. So it's a great program. I think we have a promo on that.
I can tell the story of my own grandfather, my father's father, who came from Russia around the turn of the century. That story of my own grandfather is the same story of so many of these other people who came to Oklahoma.
I've heard nothing but great reports. Elvis Ripley put that piece together. He's a great documentarian, and they wrote their own music for it. It's really, really a good story. But we're all out there trying to continue to find more content or build new content to come in. This young man here, Tim Yoder, he's my production manager at the station. He has his own show called Wood Turning Workshop with Tim Yoder. He's been doing it now for 10 years. Believe it or not, we distribute him to over 300 public TV stations in the U.S. and Canada. The guy's famous. He's more famous than me with Paul Tay. He can't go anywhere in that world without people just running him down, wanting his autograph. And he works for me. So your little TV station sitting over here in Claremore serving the Tulsa market is a station that is a can-do station, because we believe in education, we believe in reaching out to our community, and we believe in the programming that we're putting on the air. So much so, we want to highlight the Tulsa Sound. How many of you all been around for the Tulsa Sound since the 70s? You all know, starting back with Bob Wills, where that Tulsa Sound has migrated through up to today. Oklahoma produces more people in the pro athletes and music genre than I think most states do. We compete well with Texas. The only claim to fame I have is my uncle played with Bob Wills. That's the only claim. My dad played with Jimmy Dean, the sausage maker, before he became Sausage King. He was country music. My dad played with him. That's my only claim to fame. I have nothing else. But we want to focus on the Tulsa Sound, the young music that's coming up. Our radio station, 91.3, plays this stuff all the time, and they have a great listenership. So we want to bring it back over into the Tulsa, into the TV side. You may not know who these people are. You may not like some of their music. It's a stretch sometimes. I'm a 70s kind of guy, not a 2018 kind of guy, but it's still pretty good music. Let's roll that clip.
still some tears embedded in your blouse. Hello, child, and welcome to the world that's made for you. It's not always so frightening. Try to smile till you get through.
Little Bob Dylan-esque there going on. But the goal here is to bring back the Tulsa sound. But the most important thing is students are running the cameras. They're learning how to do the art of television. They have to do all of it. That was the mandate I gave the staff. Let's do it, but professionals have to back off. Kids have to run the cameras, have to do all the work, have to do all the setup. That's all because of our students. We have a great working relationship with the commercial stations in Tulsa. I've got kids at every radio station in this market. I've got kids at every TV station in this market. I have students that work for me that aren't even in communications. They're in nursing and engineering because they've heard how much fun we have over on the TV side. I got one girl who's in nursing. I said, have you done an internship yet at one of the hospitals? She said, I don't want to go to doing it. I like doing this. She may change her career path. I hope not. Nursing's a great career path. But we have great relationships with all of our media outlets in this market because when these kids graduate, they know how to do the job at the entry level. And that's the key. That's the most important part of that. But education is still the big part. How do we still do the educational component that we're mandated by Congress to do? Well, PBS has PBS Kids. That content online goes into the classroom. Being an independent public TV station, we don't have that. So we got the bright idea one day. Most kids don't know who our favorite son is. So we came up with 8 classroom pieces of content and put it on this website called In Search of Will Rogers. We make it available to all middle school, public schools in Oklahoma and homeschoolers to talk about who our favorite son is, not to ever let that vision and that storyline go away. So we're about education. That's our goal. That's our purpose. But we also take it one step further, and I'll end on this. RSU TV, we want to be bringing you great content, but we want to be effective. We want to be able to work with the young people and have a broad way of reaching out and grabbing their hand. This show called I Want Answers is our academic game show. We're the only TV station in the state of Oklahoma where we bring kids, academic teams come in to compete, but as of last year, we have given over $84,000 away in scholarships. This year, when we do it again, we will go over $100,000 in scholarships. We're the only ones doing it. We focus on 1 to 4A schools. I grew up in Delaware County. I know that the kids out there don't get the attention that the kids in the metro get. So we want to focus on those young men and women to help them get into school and to get their career path started. So we focus on that. Again, that can't happen unless we have great underwriters for support and members like you. Without your support, that stuff can't happen. I can't give away $100,000 in scholarships. Chelsea, Wagner, Stigler have all won in our academic game show and all have gone. They don't have to go to RSU. I've written checks to Notre Dame, Brown, OU, OSU. We're not restricting them just to RSU. The goal is to help them get their career path started by going to college. That's what public education is supposed to be about. That's what public TV is supposed to be about. That's why can you tell I love my job? I love public television. If they came to me and said, you want to go back to Channel 2 and be the no. I love what I do because I have more hands-on. I can affect more people at what I do than overseeing a newscast. I love what we do because we are in the schools, we're in your homes. I have the biggest congregation I could ever have had as a pastor ever because I love what we do. So keep watching, keep giving, but keep watching and tell your friends and family about RSU Public TV. My name is Royal Ailes. I'm the general manager. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Royal, for a great presentation. As always, a book in honor of today's program will be presented to our partner in education school, Celia Clinton. And this week's book is Our Flag Was Still There. How appropriate. Special thanks to this week's meeting sponsor, We Be Trees, Tim Knoll. The Rotary Club of Tulsa extends a hearty welcome home to Rotarian Will Smith. Will just returned home from a lengthy hospital stay. We wish him a successful recuperation and a complete recovery. Next week, our speaker is Miss Oklahoma, Addison Price. On June 26th, it's annual steak day, and I think that's my last meeting. So I'm excited for Becky, who's going to be taking over. Thirsty Thursdays, come and enjoy casual conversation on all things Rotary on Thursday, June 20th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Old Vine on Peoria. Bring a friend, a prospective member, or just bring yourself for a wonderful time of social networking. Each quarter, the Rotary Club of Tulsa is responsible for inventory and packing boxes at the Medical Supplies Network, the warehouse. Please join us for our next work day, which is scheduled for Saturday, June 29th from 8 a.m. to noon. Sign-up sheets are on your tables. And let's not lose sight of that grand Rotary International vision. Together we see a world where people unite, take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Please note that our new member, Sarah Stokely, will be in our guest table area in the foyer as you exit. Please take a moment to welcome her personally to our Rotary family. And with that, we are adjourned.